Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to NJPW Puroresu Review here on Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, and now in audio form on A Plus Productions. Hello, I am your co-host Andre C. Right over here, it's the wonderful effervescent Princess Melball. How you doing?
I am doing great, Andre. I had a pretty good leg day today. There's been some hilarity that I've gotten to pretty much eat some popcorn and watch happening outside in my neighborhood. That is always just fun and dandy to laugh at. It's been a fun week. We just did an interview for A Plus Productions with the amazing Boris.
Boris Roberto Aguilar.
Ah, we had a great time today. It's a fun day. It's nice out. It's a good day today, Andre. How are you doing?
I'm good. I got some yard work done today. Did some stuff around the house. Went up. Got some banking I need to get done. So split some money into different accounts so that I have access to a bit of money if I need it. But then I have the rest still earning me a good chunk, earning me a decent percentage. All that fun stuff.
Hey, love it. Love it. Get your money.
Love it. Love it. But we're not here to talk about my money or Melwell's working out. We're here to talk about professional wrestling, and we're here to talk about number 17 and 18, which are the A block semifinals and the A and B block semifinals and the A and B block finals matches. And then we will be back tomorrow because this show will come out on Tuesday. Wednesday. We will have our G1 finals review. We'll talk about the entire show, all the undercard, the stuff that it's leading to. And we'll talk the big G1 finals match. We'll talk what's coming out, what's all the matches that have been announced for the Road to Destruction, for Destruction in Kobe, for King of Pro Wrestling. So much coming in the next couple of days. So we're going to talk about this here, and we'll come back tomorrow, and we're loving it. The G1 is over. I'm very okay with that. Now I'm starting to watch some Stardom, but I'm just kind of picking and choosing matches that I randomly want to watch on each day is what I'm kind of doing right now.
That's fair. That is very fair. Same.
I'm trying to
Very
watch at
same.
least one match from each day just to get something so I have something to talk about.
I feel that. I feel that. I've been watching so much wrestling all over the place, man. I've even I had to take a break from serious wrestling to watch some Yano wrestling yesterday in DDT. And I got what I paid for on that one. I got some amusement. It
There
was
you go. You got what I
there's
paid for.
nothing.
You mean?
Yeah. I mean, yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you pay for the Wrestling Universe one.
I did.
Yeah, I got to see Maki Ito and Chris Brooks and oh, please say his name right. Masato? There's a guy there who looks like a very young version of Takeshita. I believe his name is Masato.
And
He's
a
teamed
referee.
up with Chris Brooks. A referee and another guy. I can't remember the GCW guy's name. I'm sorry, sir. He's good. He was good, but I got to see them all sit down and cry. Just have a collective cry together because
Sometimes you
some
need that.
when boys are mean to you, that's what you gotta do. You just gotta sit down and cry about it a little bit.
Oh, we're not here to cry.
Just
We're here to talk some
dang.
wrestling. Before we do that, I want to thank each and every one of you. If you're listening on A Plus Productions in our new audio home, thank you so much. Like the channel, like the Facebook page. We really appreciate it. We have the wrestling feed. We're gonna have the entertainment feed. And we're gonna have just a pure sports feed. We're gonna have like baseball and hockey and football and whatever we want to talk about over there. So check out the feed. Subscribe to them. We would really appreciate it. Check out the Facebook page. Join us over there. We would really appreciate it. And if you are watching us on the YouTube, thank you so very much. Whether it's Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, whether it's Backbreaker Video, thank you. Field goal. Field goal is good. The kick is good. Thank you so much. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Don't forget to share us out, tell your friends, family, and just awesome awesome people that you know in this world. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Hello.
I loved how you played that too.
I even play strum the air guitar, you know.
Mm-hmm,
So let's get into it. We're gonna talk some G1 A block semifinals to start, or A and B block semifinals to start. But before we do that, I do want to talk about a match that was on the undercard quickly. It was the War Dogs, David Finlay and Gato, taking on TMDK's Zack Sabre Jr. and new member Hartley Jackson. I quite like this Hartley Jackson guy. He's bigger dude, got some power behind him, just throwing his weight around. Just really good. I liked it. The end of it came Gato sitting on top of Hartley in like the camel clutch, but Hartley just stands up, carrying him on his back, and just drops back, hits him with a senton, and then just hits him with a Death Valley driver to win it. So Hartley Jackson getting his first win on his first night, or as far as I know, first night in New Japan. So
Oh,
yeah.
a spindly. Not a
Just a
Bindley,
regular
but
Death
just a
Valley driver.
spindly.
Just
Yeah,
just a
yeah, a
spindly, not
spindly,
just a spindly, not
not
a
a
bindly.
all spindly, no Bindley.
Oh, but again, I was like, ooh, new name. And then there's been announcements that there's going to be a new member of United Empire coming to Japan in September, which we will talk about on tomorrow's episode because that's all due to all the announcements for what's coming in the next little bit. So we'll talk about that
Mm,
on tomorrow's episode. So like lots of new members joining factions here in Japan, and I'm liking it.
me too, because we need it. We need to stack this tag division again, and I would like to see new members come in, work with their people, show why they were chosen, kind of to work with their people. Very similar to how they kind of did with Callum. Callum kind of came in, he got paired up with people like varying people with United Empire. Same with Bolton, teamed up with various members of Huntai. It's a good introduction, a slow
Mm.
introduction before the big splash, if you will.
Yeah, I agree. Or working Young Lions, things like that, and like even getting to work
Yeah.
with Young Lions and getting some wins there, which he wasn't getting
Yeah,
a lot in
yeah.
tag action and stuff. So yeah,
Correct,
yeah.
correct.
But hardly
Unless
getting a win
Gato
in the
was
first tag.
involved.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If Gato's involved, he's getting pinned most likely.
100%.
So we'll get into
That's
it.
stupid shoes.
We're gonna get into it. We're talking about A block semifinal. It is Shingo Takagi versus the Great Okan. Khan establishing the technical wrestling early on in this. But Shingo trying to use the power to really kind of muscle Khan around and smack him around. But Khan really gets the technical wrestling going, working
Mhm.
over the arm and then working over the legs throughout the match. So just getting technical about it, really working the arm to try to take away that pumping bomber of Shingo Takagi's in this
Mhm.
match.
Mhm.
Again, just I thought really good stuff here. Shingo rocking that sword hammer variant of his that we like to call the I guess
Yes.
the sharpest sword hammer that I've ever seen. That's for sure.
I mean, especially going over what we've seen, regrettably, what what the originator of the sword hammer has kind of been doing. It's just, yeah.
Then again, watch some of the stuff he did towards the end of his run in New Japan. There was some bad there too.
Yeah, but like, you know what my theory is with that though?
He got sloppy.
He's one of those people. Utama is one of those people who can work interchangeably. He can either have a really great singles run or he can work well with a team or faction. We saw that with the Bullet Club and the longevity that he had within it. Tangaloa is not his brother's brother in that respect. He needs somebody else to help him. And there, I mean, it's maybe it's just we didn't notice that he was acting like this here, but I feel like he wasn't quite that slippy slappy here as he was Izzy is there. But,
Yeah,
that could also just be me, my wishful thinking and me not remembering a whole lot. It's been a hot minute since we've seen him here.
it's definitely the second one.
His end round was not good though, but we have to keep in mind that knee injury was a big, big problem for him, and maybe it still is. Maybe it's
Yeah,
a thing that's making him overthink everything now instead of just doing it. Don't think it, do it.
just do it. As
Do
Shia
it.
LaBeouf would yell, just do it, as he would yell. So Khan ends up stopping a sliding bomber at one point into an arm triangle choke and just starts throwing Takagi around. Gets those judo throws going, just flipping them everywhere. Goes back to working on that arm, just cranking it with that Kimura, but Shingo does get to the ropes. And really good back and forth here. Shingo getting some really good power. Khan going for the Mongolian chops, but then Shingo stops him and starts hitting Mongolian chops of his own. I was like, oh shit!
Get
I
it?
love, I loved it. Khan, Shingo coming in with lariat strikes. He's hurting his own arm as he does it because it's been just worked over the match. Khan catches a strike, pulls a Kimura, but Shingo does get a foot on the ropes. Just the slip outs of Shingo out of the sleeper, out of the suplex attempts were so good, so smooth. Shingo blocks an
Mhm.
eliminator, hits a beautiful pumping bomber into the cradle pin. You're like, oh my god, is he gonna win it? But no, he holds on. Khan holds on to stay alive. Shingo with the elbows to the neck. They're trading strikes. They're trading headbutts. And Khan hits a straight right. Khan gets the arm again, gets a straight arm bar, but Shingo fights out. Khan goes for the eliminator, but I get turned into a huge DDT. And then Shingo starts throwing shoulder blocks, hits a German, follows it up with a huge pumping bomber for two. Then he picks him up. Last of the Dragon, and he gets the win.
Mhm. I felt that the end, like, kinda came a little suddenly. I
Mm,
wasn't like the last of the dragon kinda popped out of nowhere and it was suddenly, over. The intensity, though, and the energy in this match was so great, so high. Something I did wanna touch on, though, this has been such a strong tournament for Takagi, coming through. There was, defeating Naito night 1. There was a couple of hiccups along the way, but he's had such a dominant and strong and impressive G1 this year. Um, Something that I feel that we've noticed, though, that maybe he's starting to struggle with, or maybe that he's always struggled and maybe just not had to contend with too much, is that technical kind of background. We do see him not in the same manner, but very similarly, I think, to how Hanako was before she started working a little bit more seriously with, I'm going to assume, Mina and Micah in defending against technicality. Um, and it almost kind of felt like this match was an uphill battle for him from start to finish, just trying to head off the power and just the clear ring awareness and intelligence of the Great Khan. It's such a great match. I was actually very surprised because the way this match was starting to go, I was like, they're gonna give it to Okan. They're gonna give it to Okan, and what an interesting end of the tournament that would be. I was
yeah,
wrong, and I'm pleasantly surprised.
because Khan would have won. It would have been a technical versus technical match against Zack Sabre Jr. And that, don't get me wrong, that was incredible. It was a great match in the tournament, but just do it again
Mhm.
in an A block final would have been amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So we move on from this one to Konosuke Takeshita versus Yota Tsuji. Holy moly.
Holy shit.
This was a beat the piss out of each other match, and just it's both men are very
Again.
much about hitting that flying strike, hitting that Tsuji going for that stomp out of nowhere, trying to catch you
Mhm,
with that. Takeshita really going with that power drive. It is a lot of his stuff is based around that power drive knee. But
mhm,
Tsuji smart going attacking the knee early in
mhm,
this to really try to hobble sketch because a lot of people have been targeting the knee. He's got the tape on under his knee pad, so he's targeting the knee, really trying to uh, look at him. He got him in the he gets that when he Takeshi went for that second rope senton, he got the knees up and then immediately dragon screwed him and started working that knee. Like
mhm.
try to take that biggest weapon away is a smart idea.
Mhm. I have to agree, and on top of that, this is the second time that we've seen these 2 kind of meet throughout this tournament. What did Tsuji learn about Takeshita through from the first time that he applied in this one, and vice versa with Takeshita with Tsuji? Tsuji very much obviously paying attention to that knee issue. I mean, House of Torture did a real number on it the match before.
Mhm.
Not very cool, but it is what it
No,
is with that one. Continue, my
yeah,
friend.
and these two, just the shots they were hitting to each other were
Mhm,
solid, solid striking. I loved it. Um, Takeshita gets Tsuji up top, gets a superplex, and Tsuji rolls to the floor. Takeshita pulls out what he did to David Finlay, covered him in chairs, and hits a senton atomico over the top to Tsuji onto the chairs or top of Tsuji on the floor. Looks so
mhm,
good. It looks so good, man. Um,
mhm.
Back in the ring, Tsuji blocks a blue thunder, hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, sending and Takeshita rolls out, and Tsuji hits that beautiful tope suicida, just a rocket. Ugh, so good, so
He's
smooth.
clearly learning that from Bushi.
Oh yeah,
Who better to learn that from?
from Bushi and probably from Teton too. Like when he was over there training with them when he was in his
CMLL,
excursion.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm,
like
mm,
just some crazy stuff. Um, just great spots here. Just the strike exchanges and everything. They're fighting each other for the suplex, and Tsuji muscles Takeshita up for that Falcon Arrow driver, which he Walker did yell "Raging Fire," which is Takeshita's version of the Falcon Arrow driver. Is that Raging Fire? So
yeah, yeah,
he did say Raging Fire for Tsuji. Um, he goes for the Gene Blaster, but Konosuke just hits that sick power drive knee right into the face of Tsuji. I'm like, oh my god, this could
yeah.
be over here. But both men just collapsed to the mat. It was
So good,
so good.
so good.
Later in the match, Takeshita hits a lariat into the power drive knee, but then Tsuji comes back with a huge lariat. He hits some bunch of hard strikes, dropping Takeshita, hits the stomp, just a basic curb stomp. He goes for a Marlowe crash, but gets caught, and Takeshita hits the blue thunder bomb for 2. You can't get the win there. So he hits that world class elbow, goes for Raging Fire, but it's reversed into a stunner. Tsuji hits a Gene Blaster, but Takeshita gets a foot on the ropes. And you're like, oh my god. It just it just kept like ramping. Ah,
It was great, though, the way that they just had the crowd in the palm of their hands from start to finish for this match was just insane.
yeah. So Tsuji lines up for Gene Blaster, but Takeshita sidesteps him. He runs in the corner, and as he comes back up, Takeshita hits him with this huge German, and you can see him kind of like get this look on his face, and he's like, "Time for a power drive," and stands up, turns around, and is hit by an insanely solid Gene Blaster, and Tsuji gets the win.
Holy
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
Let's talk about since I'm always not so great with the moves. Let's talk about the energy of this match versus their first time around. These men came into their first match very much, I'm going to say cocky. They're very cocky, very arrogant. Both Suji and Takeshita came in at this alpha mentality of I'm the better dude in this situation. And in this match, it became an all-out war. It wasn't, "I'm bigger, I'm better." It was, "I've faced you before, I know what to expect now. Now I just gotta prove in this moment I'm better." And it was so, so good. The dominance of both of these men. I mean, I mentioned it before, I'm gonna say it again. Why are we not getting this version of Takeshita on AEW?
Hmm.
This is what we need being pushed on AEW so that AEW fans know what it is that NJPW is about. It's not about what you guys are seeing on the AEW television. That's pretty tame in comparison. Um, these guys are killing it over here. I really hope the AEW fans are keeping an eye on this and are proud of how far Takeshita has gone. Because goddamn.
They really should be because he's had such a great run here. And he had to be carried out after the match. Tsuji did have words for him and did give him props for how good he has done and how strong of an opponent that he is. Because he didn't talk shit to him. He gave him props in what it was an incredible match. And I love that, see that respect there at the end.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I would have to say if I had to pick somebody to at this point in time to say they were the MVP of this tournament, I'd have to say it was Takeshita. He
Yeah.
he didn't have a bad match. Even the matches he lost, he put over the people who he lost to
Mhm.
so well. Gave them so much credibility. He was the one person I expected him to be a person of interest in this, but I didn't expect him to be the level that he ended up being.
Yeah, like he's so good, and it's almost like he's a
Mm,
hidden gem of fresh wrestling. Even though he's signed to the number two company in the United States, like he's almost like a hidden gem because like when he's given an opportunity to wrestle certain people on AEW, when he's working a guy like Osprey, when he's working a guy like Fletcher, he has these incredible matches. When he's put into that ladder six way, he did some crazy ass shit, looking awesome in there. But
mhm,
he doesn't. And I've watched him have multiple great matches in AEW. Don't get me wrong, but he
mhm.
doesn't get the same time, the same length. These are 20-minute matches that he's been getting here, like 15 to 20 minutes, and he's only usually getting 8 to 10 on AEW. So you can't build as great of a match that way either. That's a big thing.
No.
Yeah.
No, you can't build much of a match at all in that, and especially with the stuff that he could do and the stuff that he requires to build, because he does have an incredible in-ring psychology where a lot same with Jake Lee, where they have that kind of, lack of a better term, the mental fuckery that they do with their opponents. And it works so well, but they need the time to grow that. And when people are too busy marking out on something else,
Mhm.
we don't get to see that. And it's unfortunate. I hope they send him over again for like anything else. Like give us him again for tag league or something and just send over Fletcher with him or something.
Yeah, that'd be great. Cause and again, and I know a lot of the undercards, Takeshi was working with United Empire, because there is a weird connection through Don Callis. I know you hate that man, but again, he has Fletcher in his team, and he is friendly with Will Ospreay. So if you notice, Takeshita was working a bunch of undercards, working with Akira and others, working the
Mhm.
undercards. So
Mhm.
it's
And
any.
despite I feel that like even despite facing each other in the tournament in Hanare, I feel that they've kind of established a mutual dominant respect for each other.
Oh, definitely,
Mhm, mhm.
most definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe
Mm.
do you think he's the new member?
I already know who the new member is. It's not him.
Oh,
It's a guy out of California. He's coming over to be the new member of. He's gonna be the new member of the Empire. That's I already know. Yeah. Uh,
oh, wow, that
Jacob
was a letdown.
Jacob Austin Young. I want to say his
Oh, I
name.
thought you were gonna say Fatu. I was like, what the fudge?
Oh no, he's in WWE. What are you talking about? He's
Yeah, that's
That'd be
why I
great
was
if
confused.
Oh, dude, it'd be
All
great
right.
if it was
Well,
tough,
I'll
dude.
have to talk about that after.
We'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, we're gonna get on to the day 18 and the A and B block finals to set up your G1 final. And it kicks off with the B block of David Finlay versus Yota Tsuji. They immediately just go at each other here. Like they just started hitting each other, just
Mhm.
going. And Shuji dropping Finlay with that shoulder block and just kind of establishing a little bit of dominance early. But like and Shuji kind of getting in control early, but then Finlay just bullying his way back and just doing his Finlay-ish. You know what I mean? Like to do a Melballism there is Finlay-ish.
Yeah.
And like he just starts getting in with that bullying style attack, whipping him into the corner really hard, and then he just kind of like lays on him for a pin, like this really stupid casual pin. That I was like,
Mhm.
"You're dumb."
I mean, he really played up the heel stuff in this one
Mhm.
for quite some time because the kind of vibe I got from him at the beginning when before they had started actually fighting when Tsuji was still wearing his jacket and everything, I felt like Finlay wasn't really sweating Tsuji. I feel like he kind of came in and being like, "Who are you? You're just a young boy. I'm the global champion. Like, you lost to Naito before. It's my time now." Like, I
Mhm.
felt like he was very authoritative maybe in this, in that he felt that he had authority over Yoda Suji, and Yoda Suji said, "Nay, nay, sir,
Mhm.
sashay away."
Yeah, and it was really showing that Suji wasn't going to take Finley's shit, and that was the
Mhm,
best story I think they could have told in here. There was
mhm,
this part where Suji puts Finley up top. He comes up, but Suji gets knocked to the apron. Then he knocks Finley down to the apron. And Finley had set up two tables on the outside, and he goes to
mhm.
try to stomp Finley off, but Finley dodges like off and through a table, but dodges. Finley dodges and lands, and then Finley attacks him on the floor. He gets him up in like this Argentine backbreaker and just runs him into the post back first. Oh,
Mhm.
that didn't look nice at all.
No, not even a
No,
little, no.
not even a bit. You just great stuff there. Suji ends up slipping a power bomb at one point, but Finley catches a knee and just catches a knee and just brings him up and just brings him over his knee with that just sick backbreaker that he does. Like,
Oh god, yeah. Did you s
mhm,
The way that he does that so solidly and so well, but the way it looks, it just has a complete reckless disregard look for the safety of the person taking the move. It looks so crazy and wild, but it's so
mhm.
crisp and defiant. Yeah, that thing was gross.
Yeah, just some great stuff. Suji hitting a flying knee out of nowhere to a running Finley, puts Finley up top, hits that Spanish fly for and gets a two out of it, and then follows
Mhm,
with a Falcon Arrow driver for two, and comes right in back with a curb stomp. Just like, no, I'm not
mhm,
letting you there. Um, he goes for Marlowe, but Finley kind of gets out of the way, then pops him up like he gets out of the way and then just like lifts him up over himself and like hot shot, like lifts, tosses him in the air to hot shot him into the corner, and then just hits him with this sick looking dominator, and both men are down. Just so good. Um,
mhm.
Finley gets into his power bombs and the buckle bombs, just wrecking Suji. They end up on the floor again. Suji's trying to do Alabama Slam to Finley through the tables, but he stops it, gets him up, and power bombs him through the table. But he hits one, and then he kind of his shoulders and it like his upper, like his shoulders and his head hit the second, and you can see the dent
Mhm.
where his head hit.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I felt so bad for Suji there.
Yeah, and those tables, they scare me because, like, I know ours have like a metal frame around it, but it's not quite as thick as the ones in Japan. So the metal frames, they freak me out the most whenever I see a table. Ugh,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Arr.
Tsuji does get back into 19, but Finlay immediately hits Trash Panda into oblivion. He only gets 2. Finlay attacking Tsuji, just attacking, just beating on him. But the ref has to pull him off, and then Finlay shoves the ref as he's just incensed at this point.
Mhm.
Finlay gets a power bomb. It just goes back to the power bomb, the buckle bombs, but again, he can't get the win here. He goes for he hits 2 buckle bombs, goes for another power bomb, but Tsuji rolls him up for 2. He then hits him with a gene blaster, but Tsuji's kind of delayed on getting onto the pin, so he only gets 2 out of it. So Tsuji comes with a curb stomp. It's with a curb stomp, goes up, Marlowe crash, but he only get 2. He gets a 3-point stance, but as he's running at him, Finlay pulls him into a small package for 2. He picks him up, goes for overkill, but Tsuji catches Finlay with a big headbutt to stop it, then hits him with the deadbolt, and then lines up Gene Blaster, and Yota Tsuji is moving on to the G1 Finals.
Yes. Okay, so the deadbolt, is that double underhanded or double hook?
Yeah, the Yumura finish where you underhook the 2 arms at the end
Right.
and just
The
belly to
double
belly them
underhook
over.
suplex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. I was looking forward to this match and it did not disappoint me. I took the
Mm-hmm.
most notes on it. So yeah, Tsuji definitely targeting that shoulder also very early with David Finlay. We don't see a ton of technicality out of Tsuji, but when we do, it's usually pretty precise, pretty targeted. So very, very smart to target that repaired shoulder of Finlay. Yeah, the tables were a concern early on for me, especially when a war dog is setting up weaponry. You always got to be concerned. There was a tope suicida that Tsuji did, that rocket that you were talking about that launched Finlay over a barricade onto one of the announce tables. That was pretty amusing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, what else? What else? Okay, there's a combination that Tsuji does that I think is a very lucha thing where he fed Finlay a backbreaker, and then as he came up with it, he flew him right down to the ground. He kind of bounced off the ground and he fed a curb stomp to him.
Mm-hmm.
I love that sequence. It's just the way he does it and the way it just flowed so well. Like Finlay didn't stop moving. It flowed so perfectly into the next thing. It looked so good. You can see sometimes there's sequences like that where people will stop somewhere and it'll kind of look a little awkward because they're trying to ready the next part of it. Now these guys know their stuff so well. So good. It was just go, 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 go. There is a head trapped stomp that I like that Tsuji does, where he caught the ears, essentially, the head of Finlay in between his feet and just slammed him down onto the apron before being avoiding being yeeted through the tables on the outside there. I really, really like how he does that. It's a really fun, unique thing that you see some people do. Sometimes they don't always pull it off in a way that looks effective. Suji does not have that problem. Yeah, the backbreaker that you mentioned was just by Finlay was so good. He makes those things look so amazing. Um, yeah, you got that. Power bomb off the tables. Yeah, the curbs has become something I really, really enjoy seeing from Yota Tsuji because he has kind of started, as I've mentioned before, kind of making it a regular signature move. So we're not just seeing one variation of it, we're seeing like 3 or 4 kind of come throughout these really long, awesome singles matches. And I'm kind of living for it. I love it. I love those simple but effective moves, and especially when someone can make them look more sensational, make them not look so simple. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. And again, these 2 I thought had just such great chemistry. They've been working together
Mhm,
on and off in multi-man tags throughout this year with the
mhm,
LIJ versus War Dogs kind of feud that was going on for a bit. And just
mhm,
I find these 2 just, and again, they're about the same age, but Finlay just
mhm,
they talked about it on comedy. They're the same age, around the same age. But Finlay again has been around wrestling his entire life. He was touring with the WWE when he was a kid with his dad and
mhm.
and helping with ring crew when he was a kid. and a
Mhm.
teenager. So like he went through the dojo system when he was young, and has been working professionally since he was a teenager, right? So like
Mhm.
he's had all this experience, but they both are the same age. So, but it's just telling how it is here. I love it. I just love the way
Mhm.
they work together and the difference in contrast and experience and style. But it flowed all so well together in here.
Mhm. Mhm. I agree, and what I love is that it was a similar but different story that was told with ELP and, Bolt Molick.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
very much so. I loved it. I loved it here. Let
Mhm.
me go to my favorite match. I
Obviously.
Dude, these two killed it, man. And again, the first time around, they it was fire. It was like I raved about it the first time. It was a day nine. These two
I
just
think
had an
so.
I think it was day 9. They had an incredible match.
Mhm.
And then to, just to bring it back and keep going with and have it do it again, but do it better. Oh, holy crap!
Right. And that's also we've seen Takagi grow a little bit in this one because we'd mentioned, or I mentioned, he was struggling a little bit. He struggled with Zack Sabre Jr. in their first bout with defending against the technicality. He struggled a little bit more with the Great Okan, but less. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he still
Mhm.
struggled, but significantly less. This match, same thing. We saw him struggle just a little bit, but it was significantly less than the match before. He's growing. He's learning how to defend against this. Take us into it, man, because I know you have a lot to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through a few points. I got a lot of notes, but I've picked out a few highlights. Saber really working over the arm, gets the arm drag, stomping on the arm to really continue the damage that Shingo Takagi has collectively gained throughout this entire tournament. Just really works it over. Does that Shayna Baszler thing where you plant the hand and with the elbow sticking up and stomps the elbow. Just well. But Shingo was like fighting back at point. He took him to the floor and beat him up, and then he gets him back in the ring, and he gets technical, working the headlock, trying to get into the anaconda vice. But so and Saber, which he's a technical master, but he actually had to go to the ropes to break it. He usually has a way out of most submissions and holds, but he had to go to the ropes, and that's just I think that's more not the technical ability, but to the power that Takagi had to hold in the headlock in the attempted anaconda vice. I think more than the technical side of it.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Despite putting on the size that he has over the last little while, I mean, we can only do so much. And I tell you all the time, this is just glamour. This is not functional. This doesn't do anything. It just looks pretty. So I'm not saying that's the same situation with Zack Sabre Jr., but in regards, in comparison to Shingo Takagi is solid, and he's been solid for years. He's dense. That's some dense muscle right there. That's some thick muscle. It's going to be hard to kind of power your way out of that for sure.
Yeah, again, it just crazy stuff. Saber reversing a whip
Mhm.
into a schoolboy and rolls him through. Grabs the leg and just smashes the knee into the mat and just starts working over the knee. He does that spot where he's going for that the Romero special, but can't get him the hands back, so he just jumps up and stomps both knees at the same time.
Mhm.
Oh, ugh.
Yeah. Mina does
uh,
something similar to that too, doesn't she? Mina Shirakawa?
oh yeah, she does it.
Yeah.
She sets up for the Romero special, then just stomps the knees instead. So
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan
Smart.
Brian Danielson does it too. Instead of he'll start setting up for Romero special into the surfboard, but then he just says screw it and stomps the knees. Like it's very much a technical. Like if you can't get the Romero special, you stomp the knees.
Sounds legit.
Yeah, yeah. There's a great spot where Shingo actually hits a magic screw in this match. I was like, yeah, magic screw. It was a superplex, and he rolls through, puts him on the rope, feet on the ropes, and hits the magic screw through. It was just a great little
Yes.
sequence. Saber drop holding drop toe holding Shingo gets a European clutch, but Shingo counters it with the rear naked choke, then goes into a ground cobra, otherwise known as, if you're an MMA fan, a twister submission. And this is where Sabre's trapped. Again, it's a lot of it's the power here, but it's also a very tight and harder submission to get out of. And Sabre has to fight and get to the
Mhm.
rope. So Shingo then pulls him up, hits Made in Japan, but can't get the win here. Again, great stuff. Last the Dragon gets stopped. Sabre's reversing a bunch of the moves that Shingo's trying to do, and he catches him with this beautiful Zack driver. Um,
Mhm.
Shingo with hard shots, but Sabre pulls the arm, taking him down, stomps on it. Shingo catches him with into the gory special, but Sabre transitions into a Cobra twist. But Shingo just slips him up onto his shoulders and hits him with a Death Valley driver and follows with a pumping bomber. Just great sequences there. Sabre reverses another Last of the Dragon into a choke, but Shingo then just drops back to break it. But Sabre pulls a triangle. Shingo lifts him up, turns the triangle into Last of the Dragon, goes for the cover. 1, 2, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my god, Sabre's out, and he kicks out of Last of the Dragon, and not many. That's a very protective move in New Japan. Last of the Dragon, if he hits it, it puts most people down. So for Sabre to kick out, I was like, thank you God, thank you God.
Mhm.
Um,
And the crowd erupted.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they knew they saw something that doesn't normally happen too. On top of everything, it's like, oh, that doesn't happen. This is big. So
Mhm.
Shingo starts unloading lariats, but Sabre's like staying up, and he's just like, come on. He's just absorbing them. I'm like, what is going on here? So Shingo starts striking. Sabre responds with more. They're trading kicks, trading strikes. And Sabre hits his like Zack bomber of his own, dropping Shingo. Sabre then
Mhm.
picks him up, Zack driver, but he only gets 2. Then he goes right into the knee bar, and then you can see Shingo's fighting it, and then then he twerks the heel to add the heel hook into it, and you can just see the face, and he's just fighting and fighting, but he's too far from the ropes, and Shingo Takagi submits to the heel hook knee bar combo. Oh,
And like something to kind of go back to the ground cobra that Shingo had Zack Sabre Jr. in before. I think also the height differential really kind of played into Shingo's favor in that respect because Zack Sabre Jr. is so long
mm-hmm.
and so tall. When you have someone who's a lot more compact like Takagi, it works out well, way, way, way better in the smaller person's favor because that person has to work so much more to pull those longer limbs out of a smaller, more confined space. But unfortunately for Takagi, it just wasn't enough to put down the wizard. He's a wizard, Harry.
Yo, Wizard
Technical
Zack.
wizard.
Yo, Wizard Zack.
You're a wizard, Zaki. You're a wizard. He is. He's a technical wizard. There's like as you had mentioned, there's not really anything that he cannot get out of. And I don't think it's like anything that he couldn't escape in this. I don't think it was a matter that he didn't have the technical know-how. He absolutely knew how. He was just too long. It's just too tall. It's just too big in comparison to the compactedness of Takagi. And then on top of that, Takagi is like a pit bull. He grabs on and he's not going to let go. So, yeah, Zach put in a big struggle on this one, but man, what a match.
Oh,
What a match.
such a satisfying win. I was just like, oh, just to see him like take it with the submission out of just that, and he had been
Yeah,
working that
yeah.
knee for a few minutes at that point too, really trying to like damage those knees. So yeah,
Mhm.
I love the way this finished, and again, I get huge Zack
Mhm.
Sabre Jr. fan. Um,
Yeah.
Tsuji does come out after in his bright yellow LIJ shirt, offers the handshake. They shake hands, and Tsuji just leaves. Like no drama, no fuss. Just like alrighty, let's go. They see it like again. It was contentious. Don't get me wrong, but it was like nobody's gonna hit each other. Nobody's gonna. It's not. This isn't House of Torture. This isn't War Dogs. They're not gonna attack each
Mhm.
other. They're gonna wait for their match the next day.
Yeah, in that situation, the only thing I was disappointed with was the atrocious outfit that Tsuji wore. Could also be that I'm just not a fan of yellow,
Mm.
but, like, when he came out there, I was like, "Did you literally just grab an article of clothing from every person you passed on your way to the ring to just" the outfit did not look put together. And the random freaking Rossi Ogawa freaking massive fedora. Like,
That was funny. That was the hat was humorous. That was humorous.
when he first got in there, I didn't know who it was at first.
Yeah, it took me a
I
second. I
was
was like,
like,
"Oh, that's Tsuji."
"Who's this cowboy?" It wasn't even a cowboy.
But then Sabre
Oh,
goes out into the crowd with the mic and goes to say something in Japanese. Says, "See you tomorrow," and that's all he says. Just and they Walker and Chris both talk on commentary saying he's got his speech, but he's waiting till he wins the G1 to give his speech to
which is
really
fair.
just sign it off. So Sabre walking through the
Yeah.
crowd, takes a fan's flag, puts it over his shoulders, walking around, but then throws it back to the fan before he leaves. It just like
Mhm.
great match, great match. Shingo just
Oh,
looking so good, so strong, so dominant, but Sabre pulling out all these moves out of nowhere to really wear down Shingo throughout. I love this match.
mhm, mhm. Great match. Great way to start to bring the G1 to a close.
Yeah. So we have one more show covering G1. That'll be the G1 finals, capped off with Yota Tsuji versus Zack Sabre Jr. So we'll be back tomorrow with that. I'm excited for it because, oh,
Mhm.
yes,
Ah.
yes, yes, yes. I'm in the middle of the. I'm in the middle of what I know the results, but I'm in the middle of watching the show right now. And yeah, again I've been taking minor notes for the undercard, but man, I'm going to take so much notes for this match. I know I will. I'm gonna take so many notes.
No doubt.
No
Shout out
doubt.
Lonely Island. No doubt.
No doubt. But we have come to the end of
Ah,
another episode of NJPW Puroresu Review.
yay! Wrestling.
Wrestling.
So much.
You can find me on the X at that kind of guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at that kind of dude. You can find me on Facebook at Andre Melball Talk. And in the comment section of our YouTube page, youtube.com at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk. You can also find me in the comment sections of A Plus Productions Facebook page. Go over there, check it out. All the feeds are going to be up. Should be late or should already be up now because they would have come up. They should have been up last night between the wrestling feed, the sports feed, and the entertainment feed. They'll all be there. There'll be links to subscribe to each of them, so check it out there at A Plus Productions on Facebook. We'll have more coming to you soon. And if you are listening to us on the A Plus Productions audio feed, thank you so much. We really do appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Big shout out to our friends over at Our Local Establishment. You can find them over at Twitch at Our Local Establishment or youtube.com/at Our Local Establishment. Go back, check out Melball's interview from this past weekend where she talked with Mark Talks Wrestling all about herself and all the stuff that she's done. And if you want to, even previous interviews, you can check out mine where I sat down and talked all about me with Mark Talks, or Astrid's where he talked with the wonderful Astrid Pizarro about all her awesome stuff. And then this upcoming weekend on Saturday, you can check out him going one-on-one with his biggest nemesis, Old Ed. It all comes to a head when they face off in interview format. It's gonna be a hell of a slobber knocker. Old
Boy.
Ed. Old Ed too. Old Ed.
Hey. So we just got Natsupoi to be OLED's
Yeah.
spokesperson,
Yeah.
mascot. There you
And
go.
then you can find me there this Friday with Mel talking the G1 ending, we're gonna talk some Stardom 5-star Grand Prix, we're gonna talk some N1 victory, we're gonna talk some Mari Gold with Julia's departure. So much coming up over on Japanese Wrestling Update on Friday. I don't have anything
You're
else to remember.
stealing my ish.
You can still talk about it. And one more big shout out to Mike the Ref, youtube.com/@Backbreaker Video, where he simulcasts all of our shows. Thank you so much, very much, sir. You can find him live at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref every Wednesday, Saturday, and pay-per-view Sunday, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time this coming Sunday. You can find Mike over doing his all-in watch along. Check him out. I'll be at Melball's hanging out, eating some breakfast foods, watching wrestling there.
Yeah, we should probably make breakfast, shouldn't we?
We really should. So check him out over
Make my
there.
dad's pancakes again.
And every other day of the week, you can find him playing games over there. And you can see the replays of that gaming content. YouTube.com/@Backbreaker_gaming, where you can find content from him, Mr. PJC, this little dude right here, Rick Jules, and their frequent guest, Kayla. Or the frequent guest. I almost said it.
Kayla J. Stealing all my shit. Stealing all my shit.
That's right. That's right. Where can they find you?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can follow her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can follow her on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball. Collins. You can also find me, as he mentioned, on our local establishment's programming, Japanese Wrestling Update. You didn't tell him the time, though. It's 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Unless it's not. And then we will let you know on social media. Yes. We will be live this week, though, because there is no wrestling happening in Edmonton right now. So we're just gonna watch better wrestling. Yes. But we will be on here at 8 p.m. Mountain Time to talk to you guys about that better wrestling. You can also catch me on Astro Bizarre's YouTube channel, where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. Stay tuned to our socials to see when the next episode is coming out for that one. There's a lot of crazy chaos going on with promotions over in Florida there. So we just have to be patient for when the natural is ready for us. If you are wanting to watch New Japan Wrestling, we will leave a link in the description box below. It is njpwworld.com. It is some kind of yen.
1,250 yen, I think.
1250. All right. 1,250 yen, or approximately 10 Canadian. It's not 10 Canadian. It's more like 1,450. I just like Sean Spears. Yeah, that guy. If you're wanting to check out any of the wrestling at NJPW before you take the plunge and make a purchase, you can check out any of their New Japan TV title matches, which featured Zack Sabre Jr., Matt Riddle, Zack Sabre Jr.,
El
Jeff
Presidente.
Cobb, El Presidente. You know, at least if he's going to be a champion holder, he is holding the right championship for it, I'm going to say. The most unappreciated one in the company. But go check out those matches if you want to check out anything before paying for full price for NJPW World. Andre, my trusted friend and colleague, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
No, just want to say thank you all so much for tuning in. If you're listening in audio form, thank you for joining us on A Plus Productions. If you want to hear us just in audio form, go over to A Plus Productions on Facebook. The links are there for the wrestling, the sports, and the entertainment feed. Check it out. And if you are watching on video, thank you so very much for watching it here on YouTube, whether it's Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, whether it's Backbreaker Video. Thank you guys so much for supporting us on those two channels. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down below. We love hearing from you. We love talking to you. We love just getting your feedback on everything that we do. Also, don't forget to share us out to your friends, family, and kooky little kitties that exist in this world. And don't forget to hit that note, like kitties and like meow, kitties, like kitties, like meow, meow. See, meow.
First of all, that's what I thought you were referring to. What did you think I was referring
I don't know what,
to?
I said kitties, but it sounded like it could mean sound like kids, but I don't know. It was like meow. See, meow.
And then number 2, meow. See, meow.
That's my gangster kitty. I'm literally
Oh,
looking at a
Japanese,
package. I
Japanese
have a
wrestling
package.
TV. Mao,
I
Mao,
have a
see now.
package of Royale tissue sitting across from me on the other table behind my
Oh,
computer. So that's why I thought kitties.
okay. Ding
Meow,
dong.
see? Meow, see?
Mao, see, Mao.
Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alert every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Meow, see?
Oh, see, Mao. Oh,
Oh.
man. That being said, I am your Melball. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.